Good afternoon, YouTube. It's your man on the George page coming to you live on YouTube. And yes, I'm actually live, folks. And I want to talk about an upcoming event that's coming on tonight, and that is UFC 261. As you know, this is probably the biggest event for women's MMA tonight. The main card will feature three title defenses. The first off is the welterweight champion Kamar Usman versus Masvidal 2, which is I call the shit show. We all know why. Because Dana White he's not other than a man. I mean other than uh Ronda Rousey. We know Dana's not a big fan of any of the women. Pretty much there's only a few women he likes. The ones like the Macy Barbers or the Miranda Mavericks or the ones that are pretty enough he can push. He barely can stand, truthfully, Amanda Nunes, and he's not a big fan of Valentina. But anyway, um, this is to me, as you know, when it was announced that this was going to be a card that's going to headline two champions. That's the Strawweight Championship, which is the return of Thug Rose Namajunas versus Wally Zhang or Wally Jing, or whatever you want to call her. And then you have Valentina, the Bullet Shevchenko versus Jessica Andrade. And I just have my thoughts and opinions on it. I just, want to share. But here's the thing: is like, I said again, the hard part about it is that how the thing is set up. They're having a fight in Florida because Florida, they're not as progressive as most other states where they try to try to knock down crowds and try to keep the spread of the coronavirus. And this fight is happening tonight. I'm not sure what time, probably about 6 or 5 o'clock, probably a couple hours from now. You have the prelims, and then you have um, first you have the before fight. That's the fight that's before the prelims. I usually show it on the pass, and then you have the prelims where they have one. I think there's one other female fight. So there's three fights on the whole card on the whole pay per view, and then you have the main card. But this is my opinion of it. I feel like we all know what's the outcome of Masvidal and Usman. That's pretty much as obvious. And people are trying to push the narrative that Jessica Andrade is going to beat Valentina Shevchenko. Uh, I don't see it. I don't know what y'all thinking. I don't see it at all. I don't know how she's going to beat her. And Valentina, faced when she was fighting 135. Both of them were before they started. Both fought at 135, and now I think both of them. I think are Jessica was in her perfect division at 115, and now she went to 125. But anyway, I decided to do a PowerPoint presentation. And it's PowerPoint's kind of fun. It's just it takes a while to put everything together. I should have did a reminder thing, but oh god, so and it's kind of like I just have so many things busy. I'm still working on some videos I'm working on. Also, been talking to some ladies about doing some interviews. Across my fingers. I posted an interview, a bit with Brittany Big Brooks Lemonade. Um, but she's on the road. She posted I posted a reminder. I called her, left a message. She had to respond. I understand she's busy. It's always me and her and Tisha Thomas. We just seem like we just can't really can't really get together. So I sent her a message, and maybe we do it another time. We talk about the subject we tried to talk about the earlier this week. But anyway, I'm gonna start on my PowerPoint presentation on, and if you look at the title, the title is it's the UFC. The UFC 261 should have been better. Should have UFC 261 should have been. I should put a big letter space. That's good, cool. And this is just my thoughts personally of what should have been. What should have happened. And you know, this is just a big debate. And here, as you know, tonight is part of the kind of like the undercard or the main card is two championship fights in the women's division. That is the strawweight division, which is right now the strong division, and the flyweight division is still kind of growing. Now you have the current champion Wally Zhang facing a former champion Thug Rose Namajunas, and then in the flyweight division you have the current champion Valentina Shevchenko facing the a former strawweight champion and the most recent contender Jessica Andrade. And to me personally, I think this would have been a great. This is all you need. I think some people don't like Valentina that much, but I think the Rose and Zhang fight should have been the main card, and Valentina and Jessica could have been the co-main event. That's fair. But decided a certain numbnuts decided that it was more important in his company, to instead of giving women a spotlight to show their talents, so to these four women fighting for two championships. So he decided that what, I just don't think the women would do so well. I just so we got to find a guy fight, to make up for it. And to me, that is some bull crud. He could have, it's just, he just Dana White. He is depending who he likes and who's his favorites that get to push, like the Conor McGregors, mostly Conor McGregor or Ronda Rousey. And right now he's fighting with John Jones to pay him enough money because he wants to fight Nagano. Go ahead, pay the money, cheapskate. What's 10, 15 million? What's he going to do? He's going to do a bullshit move, and he's going to underbid and get Derek Lewis to fight Francis Ngannou, and that fight's not worth it. Ngannou has already beaten Derek Lewis. We all know the outcome of this fight. So instead, making this fight opportunity for like Thug Rose and Valentina and Andrade and Zane, he decided to say, you know what, you ladies can't do without these guys. So we're gonna scrape up this fight here. Like again, like if you remember originally, Masvidal and Usman originally scrapped about 6 days I think before their fight in Dubai. So this fight was scrapped up a little bit, just about the same, but maybe about a month or so more time compared to their first fight. And we know the outcome of this fight. And truthfully, this is ladies. This is opportunity for ladies to step up. As you remember, as I had my argument with Tisha Thomas, she said it's time for the women, and it really is. I mean, it's an opportunity for them to get the spotlight, and why not? Why not let Rose and Zane be the main event, and let Valentina and Andrade be the co-main event? I mean, but you know what? We get this shit show too. It's truthfully a shit show. We already know the prediction of this. It's Marty Usman versus George Masvidal. because I know Kobe called Kamara Marty, and if you know the translation for the name Jorge is George in Spanish. I learned that a long time ago. One of my sisters studied Spanish in high school, and still my name was Jorge. And we all know what's going to happen. It's pretty much about the same thing. Maybe Masvidal might put up a good fight, but Usman is just strong. He's just strong as hell, and he's just going to, he wants to knock out Masvidal. But I think you better stay away from Masvidal. Masvidal, you may not be a fan of Masvidal, but his stand-up is pretty good. He's being that fact he's given him a good part of his career as a street fighter. He was a tutor. His tutelage under the great Kimbo Slice. Where he got his how he got his skills from. But like I said, I appreciate the person that's in here. The one person, I appreciate you coming by. Like, share, subscribe. Also, if you see in the ticker, I have my GoFundMe, my PayPal, and my Cash App. So you know what, I like to have a little something in my pocket. All right, take some time to put this thing together. And the problem is the fans want so much for Masvidal to beat Usman, and kind of like the way he did to Ben Askren. But Ben Askren is not as skilled as Usman is. Usman is a much better fighter, wrestler. His skills are more better. Truthfully, Masvidal is one dimensional. He has his good stand up and he has his good points, but he's pretty much borderline one dimensional. And then the truth is, the fight people really want to see is, Kamara versus Kobe Covington. Honestly, that's the fight people really want to see. Because he broke his jaw, and and I think Covington has enough time. The wire's been taken out of his face. The fight happened almost like a year ago, and I think they still had crowds. You know, so the wire should be out of his face. He should be okay. But no, no, no. So we get this trash bag fight. Anyway, and the big thing is, one thing I have been really talking about is Rose's comments she made about Wally Zhang and about communism, about fighting for Lithuanians. I'm staying away from that stuff. That stuff is just some old Cold War BS that she's trying to shake up to get attention for this fight. And that's the thing it is. And there's a lot of people out there who are, call themselves patriotic. I have the quote signs in the air, and they think that, well, I'm patriotic. I got it's America, you know, and that's the mindset of these people about this whole thing between um, Wally and Rose, and but what is we? I don't know. Like I said, like I said, Wally grew up in China, and China has been communism for over almost 100 years, just about. And it's just something she grew up in. It's nothing she can do about it. She has no choice in where she lives. But now she's traveling around America. She's been living in the States for quite some time because, as you know, with the pandemic, it's hard for her to go back to China. And and Rose, it wasn't that long ago that she fought Jessica Andrade, and Andrade fought Rose, Andrade fought Wiley. And that fight was going pretty good Rose's way. I mean, Rose was killing Jessica with her stand up. But then what happens? You know, Jessica Andrade picks her up, drops her on her neck, and she wins the title. You know, and that's the thing. I mean, and people that's the thing about they say about Jessica Andrade because she's so strong. She's so strong. Yes, she's strong, but strength doesn't mean much. Especially when she faced somebody like Weili Zhang. And Zhang is pretty. Her skill set is almost similar that to Valentina. As you know, they both grew in kind of a communist environment. You know, Originally, uh, Valentina's from Kazakhstan, where it is that one time was communism, and she grew up in that environment. And she trained the same thing like Wali, but years ago, Russia long since advocated from the communist rhetoric. They still have some beliefs of it, but they're no longer really supposed to be communist, supposed to be independent, liberal. But you never say the truth about that. And anyway, this this fight, the fight between Zane and and Andrade, people think it's going to be probably a good war, maybe a good fight. But you know what happened? You know, Jessica puts out in 40 seconds in the first round. Now that's faster when Amanda Nunes knocked out Ronda Rousey, and faster when she knocked out Chris Cyborg. And I just still want to talk about that Cyborg thing. Yeah. And then now she's a new champion. And now what happens? No more than a few months later, and maybe a year or so later, Rose and Jessica fight each other. The two former champions. And it was pretty. The fight was pretty good. Uh, yeah, and like I said, give me a second. I got something right here, and I just something right here. Sorry, fellas. I got to do well. Like I said, I'm on here now. I'm trying to distract you, and like I said, well, I was just talking to somebody. You know how it is with you talking to somebody on the phone real quick. But anyway, as I say, with this fight, it was just a fight to see, its opportunity. Maybe it's to be the next contenders. Jessica was the former champion, so was Rose, and this was more like a contender fight. And at the end of it, pretty much Rose did pretty good. She used the same thing as stand up, but Jessica got a little better, just a little better. And the thing is that Rose just needs to be careful with somebody like Wally Jane. This is a different opponent. Different. Her skill set is that she has a certain skill set that's, like I said, similar to certain other fighters. And Rose has to be very careful when she fights somebody like Wally Jane. But we know what happened to Jessica Andrade. Just decides to go to 125, where she's a little bit more heavier than she was at 115. And they give her one of the former contenders, and that is uh, Caitlin Chikadian, aka the blonde fighter. And you would think, people were sure that Chikadian was going to win. She had the height advantage, she had the reach advantage. I mean, that should have been her fight to win. But you know what happens? A lucky body shot. A precise body shot, some might say. And she was done. And then here it goes. Andrade wins. And now Andrade gets a shot at the current champion, Valentina Shevchenko. And some people are saying they want so bad for Valentina to lose. They want her to lose so bad that now they just want to lose so bad that what they do is they just don't like Valentina. Valentina's just that damn good, you know? And she's been a champion for quite some time now. She got the title almost about 2 years ago, and she came into UFC and she was fighting at 135, just like Jessica Andrade. There's so similarity to a lot of these women. Like Jessica, she fought with 135. As you remember back in the day, UFC didn't have only one division for the women. That's 135. A lot of girls had to fight heavier. Some girls had to fight lighter. Some girls who were more like 125, 115, some probably 145 had to fight at 135. They had no choice. But then eventually, they created the division. First came the strawweight division. Then came the fly. But at that time, you know, you know, um, I'm sorry, Valentina was fighting some tough opponents. She fought Sarah Kaufman. She first time she fought Liz Carmouche, and Liz Carmouche won by because of a illegal kick, and it was a cut. And then next up is she fights Juliana Pena, and she submits Juliana Pena. She's pretty good. Then she fights Holly Holm, who's who's trying to get back at a shot at the title after losing it to I think pretty much losing that title to Misha Tate. And then here we go, and you got Valentina, climbing up for her shot, and she beats Holly Holm, who was a bigger fighter, more reach, but she beat her. You know, then she takes on Amanda Nunes. Sorry. She takes on Amanda Nunes for the title, and she puts up a good fight against Nunes. But Nunes just, I think the first fight was just, I would say, was a split decision. I mean, she did pretty good, but she was still fighting somebody bigger like Nunes. Then she gets a shot at Nunes again, and the fight goes pretty well. There's just, if all what I think what made the difference in this fight was a one takedown. And if Valentina had the strength to take down Amanda Nunes, she could have won it. But Nunes being the champion at the time, and it's always like this: when you're the champion, you're gonna, even if in a close fight, the judge is gonna go with the champion. Valentina did what she do. She did all she did, and then she realized, what, she probably never get another chance. So as the flyweight division is created. Oh, yeah. And she faces, she faces Priscilla zombie girl Cacciera, and she kills Priscilla. I mean, she just kills it, you know. And it's just bad luck for Priscilla. She's just the girl is just, and you know who's the referee to that fight? You know, Mario. If she dies, she dies. Yamasaki. You know, and that's just it was just so wrong. I mean, they could have, and the corner could have thrown the towel. I'm saying your fighter want to fight, but the corner could have thrown the towel. Save your fighter. Save your soul. And then she gets a shot at Nico Montana. And Nico, she was a champion. Technically, Nico shouldn't have been the champion. It should have been Sarge Eubanks, but Sarge got sick before the final episode for the title, and so Nico got the opportunity. You know, well, actually, Nico was supposed to be fighting, and then they gave the opportunity to Roxanne Modafferi. But Nico technically shouldn't be the champion. It should have been Sarge Eubanks. But that's just not here or there. But there's one person who's hollering that she wants a shot, and that is Joanna Don't Call Me Bojango Chick JJ. And she has faced all four of these women, all four of these women in different points in her career. She fought it's a title holder. She fought Jessica Andrade when she had a title, and she really dismantled Jessica Andrade. You know, and I know, like I said, her skill set is almost similar that to Valentina. They both fought Muay Thai. And Jessica Andrade is just, she doesn't have that skill set to fight somebody like that. Somebody who has quick hands, who can put out output, who has kicking skills. I mean, it's just, Jessica Andrade is limited. And you got to think about it, she's going to go get somebody like Valentina. Then she fights Rose. As you know, Rose gets her shot. And, she's intimidating Rose, but Rose not intimidated. I got to respect Rose. Rose is unbelievable. She stood there, stood her ground. And then she knocked out Joanna in the first round. You know, And wait a second. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, folks. I'm in the middle of something real quick. Yeah. All right. I'll just get up with my previous interview I was going to have. Uh, you know, and I hope she responds. But anyway, as Joanna fought Rose, and Rose knocked her out in the, like, I think in the first. Yeah. Oh, hey Danielle. Yeah, I know Fat Dan. Yeah, this is my buddy Daniel. Yeah, it's lit. Yeah, it's lit to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's going to be hot tonight. Thanks for coming by, Danielle. And my man Marcus Bell. Yeah, Yeah, and but anyway, let's go back to what I was saying earlier, and and I appreciate you guys hit that like, and then you had the second fight between Rose and Joanna, and that fight kind of could have went either way, but I think Rose just has better stand up. I got to give it to her, and and Joanna with Joanna, her thing is that she puts out a good amount of output. Joanna's a tough fighter. I gotta give it to her that. She's a tough fighter. But Rose is, I think, a lot tougher. And I think she has her advantage was her youth. Joanna was like about 30, Rose is like in her mid-20s, and sometimes youth can make a difference. But age comes experience. And then she gets another shot at the title, and that is the 125 title. As you know, Nico decided to drop out because she got sick. She didn't really prepare for this fight. I think she got a case of the limber I'm always going to believe that. I mean, you're supposed to be a champion. You should always be prepared when you have an opponent. And the thing is that Joanna step up. I mean, I know a lot of people are not a fan of Bochenko Check, but she did step up. You know, and and they have faced each other before in Muay Thai. You know, and Joanna lost to Valentina 3 times in Muay Thai. But this was in MMA, and pretty much Valentina just dominated that whole fight. Her spinning kicks, her shots, body shots. I mean, Joanna, she did pretty good. The fight with the distance. People didn't expect. People were hoping they get somebody get knocked out. But both um, Valentina and Joanna not known for the knockout skills. You know, so as a gift for her stepping up and taking that spot for Nico Montana, Joanna gets another shot at her title. Well, she says her title, but it's not really. And against the current champion, Wally Zhang. And we talked about how Rose was talking about all that other stuff, and stuff about communism. But Joanna was no better. She's no better. She was talking stuff too, and people don't want. And some people want to forget about that. How this meme right here where she's wearing the mask, and that was around the time, a little bit before the I think was it early of the pandemic, you know, and it's just like I said, Wally, she came in, she fought this fight, and I think this is actually the toughest opponent she had in her career. I mean, you know, I mean, Joanna came and gave it to you. She put up a fight. Honestly, I saw the fight. She put up a fight, and and you wouldn't think, people were so sure that Wally Zhang was going to knock out Joanna, but here's a good example of you can't always, predict what's going to happen in a fight, especially in MMA. And MMA math doesn't always work out. But some say the fight could have went either way, but because of how Joanna turned into a pumpkin head, and it's just they had to get the fight to Wally Zhang. Judges go by the damage, and if your head's so swollen that it looks like it's about to burst, and your opponent barely has maybe a few scars around the face and a black eye, but you got a swollen head, they're gonna go with it. And this is considered the fight of the year. Fight of the year. I mean, it was a big fight. Probably one of the best fights, top 10, maybe top 5 in women's MMA history. You got to put it in there. But Joanna feels she wants the opportunity, and she's waiting on the winner between Rose and Zane. But to me, she don't deserve an opportunity like that. Not you can't keep giving her opportunities. While he's so respectful and mentally sound, she has these fighters shook. That's why they talk crazy about the fight. Yeah, because you remember that fight with Jessica. People were assuming that Jessica was gonna go, bull rush uh, Zhang, but Zhang bull rushed her. And that's what she did. Jessica's not used to everybody going attacking her. She used to be an attacker. So but Wally, she's taking a lot. You got to respect her because a lot of people talking about her beef in China, the coronavirus, all this other stuff. It just a lot of yin and yang, yin and yang. And you get tired of it. It gets too much of it. But this is the thing is, this is a fight that we're not really certain what the outcome's going to be. Wally Zhang's a good fighter, but so is Rose Namajunas. And Rose is strong also. Somebody don't give her credit on strength. Walee's pretty strong also, but you got to give Rose some credit too. And if Rose don't fight Walee's fight, fights a smart fight, maybe even get a good shot in, she can win this fight, most definitely. And Walee can win it if she gets a good shot in and maybe go to distance and be the champ. But his thing is she has to win indefinitely. If she doesn't, put on a good performance and it comes to a split decision, the judge is going to go to Rose. I feel that's going to be like it's going to happen. If it gets to a point where Wally don't put on a top-notch performance enough where she can definitely she's going to be still a champion, it's going to go to Rose. And the one fight that I'm really looking forward to, I'm truly looking forward to, is Valentina versus Jessica Andrade. And truthfully, in my mind, I know a lot of people saying don't underestimate Jessica Andrade. I'm not underestimating anybody. I'm not going to underestimate Jessica. I know she's a tough fighter. She's strong, all that other stuff. But the fact is, her skill set is limited. It's a limited skill set. Somebody gets like Valentina. Valentina has defended her title, against quite a few opponents. Some opponents that Jessica has faced off before. Some, like I think she fought Jessica Andrade. I think she fought Jessica back in the day when still with 135. She fought Shagan Kagan, not that long ago, and she fought Liz Carmouche, and a couple of fighters she has beaten. But then the next opponent that Valentina faces, is Jennifer Maia. And everybody's on this, like Jennifer Maia's, she's a BJJ expert. Valentina get that. And you got to think about it. Valentina was on a 6-month suspension, injury. She couldn't do much. She couldn't train as hard like she wanted to. She couldn't, and Valentina is one of the few, champions that fights the most. Valentina will try to fight 2 or 3 times a year, and she's a fighter. She loves to fight. And everybody's all sure about Jennifer Maia. And Jennifer Maia wins one round. One round. And people's on this more victory thing. More victories don't mean shit. They're just something that people just want to sound and make it feel good. Hey, you want a more victory. But it's not just like a real victory. And then, like I said, she won one round. But the rest of the rounds, Valentina dominated. She beat the crap out of Jennifer Maia. From what's information I heard, Jennifer Maia's got a nose broke. And Valentina took her down at least 2 or 3 times throughout the fight. So what's the thing, but here's the thing, people on this idea that Jessica Andrade is going to be a challenge for her. I don't say a challenge. I'm not going to say a challenge. She's going to be a good fight, but not truly a challenge. She fought people like Holly Holm. She fought people like Madeline Nunes twice. She fought some pretty big opponents when she was fighting in 135, just like Jessica was. But like Jessica, other than the 2 losses she had against Amanda Nunes, I think truthfully Valentina has a better, record at 135 compared to Jessica Andrade. And you got to agree with me on me, Marcus Bell, Danielle H. You agree on me on that? That's cool. That's just truth. And now the thing is, people are so want to see, Jessica Andrade use that one punch knockout or throw Valentina around. Valentina's not gonna let her get her on her and throw her around. Valentina's not gonna do that. That's not gonna happen. Forget about it. Forget easy. Because why? Pavel has a plan. Pavel has a plan. This man's a genius. They're probably sitting down watching videos of Jessica Andrade, then checking things and critiquing things, and, finding the hole she has. And they realize they got to stay away from brute strength. The truth is, the fight they really want to see is another champ versus champ fight. And that is truthfully Wally Zhang versus Valentina Shevchenko. Now, Valentina's been kind of, a bit of a, I'm not going to say the word, whole thing with the Wally, you know, and I can understand her, because the fact is you're the champion. It's another champion, and both of y'all kind of come from almost identical backgrounds, being y'all really are focused fighters, and you gotta respect your focus. I mean, Valentina says she don't want no husband, she don't want no boyfriend. Even though her sister's married to Pavel, she doesn't want the whole distraction of relationships in life. And that's the same with Wally. She's focused on her fighting. You know, she's not interested in any distractions. But we all know here that one fight people say they might if this happens, if Rose wins and she becomes the gain the strawweight champion. Yeah, I see Jessica having a very hard time getting close to the bullet. Yes, she is. Yeah, and thank you. Yes, and facts. Yes, thank you, Danielle Marcus Bell. I appreciate y'all folks. I appreciate y'all for and that is true. You she's gonna be hard to get. Jessica's not getting her hands around Valentina. She'd be lucky if she get maybe grab an arm or a leg at the most, try to do a takedown. Valentina's too quick. Her skill set is impeccable. I mean, I call Valentina the John Wick and Brian Mills from Taken of the UFC. She has a particular set of skills that can be trouble for a lot of people. But let's say what it is with Rose and Valentina, they're friends. They know each other. Valentina has trained with Rose. Rose has trained in the Shevchenko cap. And you most definitely, we're not going to see a champ versus champ between Rose and Valentina. I mean, most definitely, Rose knows how good a fighter Valentina is, how well rounded she is. And Rose, even though her skill sets are pretty good, is not at Valentina's level. But we all know what Valentina wants to do. Valentina wants that shot at the lion ass queen, Amanda Nunes. She wants a third fight. And usually we have a third fight. It's usually supposed to be like one fighter wins one fighter wins one. You don't usually go with a fight where one fighter wins two and the other one does have one. People really, you really like if you go like with like classic fights like Ali versus Frazier. Frazier won the first one, Ali won the second one, and Ali won the last fight. Gotti and Ward, Leonard and Durant. I mean, those fights happen because one fighter won one fight, the other one won the other, and you had that third fight to break the draw. And you like I said, there's a big chance that if Valentina doesn't win this fight, we may not see Nunes Shevchenko 3. Because we're not going to get Cyborg Nunes 2 because the fact is a certain bald Lex Luthor looking mofo messed that up because he was in his damn feelings. Thank you, Gina White, for being your damn feelings. You can't, not being a businessman, understand the purpose of business. And I just saw recently on Cyborg's YouTube channel, she's modeling for a video game now. A boxing video game, I believe. So this is somebody who's really popular. I think her popularity grew after her loss, but she's still a good fighter, even if she win or lose. So, as you know, tonight I say like this: 2 good fights and 1 shit show. We all know this is true for this. People, talking about that Masvidal is going to knock out Usman. Usman's going to wrestle Masvidal to death. He's going to take him down. He might even submit him. He might even actually knock him out. Masvidal doesn't have that skill set. Masvidal should just fight guys like Clay Guida or Nick Diaz, or Cowboy Cerrone. Guys like that are more his speed. Sluggers and brawlers. He's not ready for like a high-level wrestler fighter like Kamaru Usman. Usman's going to hold his title. He's not going to lose his title. No matter how bad people want Usman to lose, Kamaru's not going to lose his title. Now, like I said, and that's the same thing with Valentina. Valentina, no matter how much they wish and they want, and they dream, saying like, well, Valentina's going to have a challenge. No, she's not going to have a challenge. She might have some difficulties, but you know what she is? She is a person who researches her opponent. She's going to pick Jessica Andrade apart, and this fight is going to be over. That's it. It's going to be over. Yeah, and I don't see, after that, we could probably if Wally beats Rose, maybe we get to see Zayn versus Shevchenko, because pretty much, uh, and and pretty much that's gonna be it. I don't see any, right now. Who else is gonna be left? We have to wait between Calderwood and Meth Head Murphy. Yes, I call her Meth Head Murphy. I don't like her. I know I'm saying she's a former drug addict, but she is. That's what she is. Meth Head Murphy. This is my channel. I'm gonna call it that. I'll be kind of coach channel. I won't say nothing about coaches, but this is mine, so I'm gonna say it. So tonight, like I said, I'm not spending money paid to pay per view. I should just have time to see. And I just like my man coach. I know he's gonna do a live stream thing. He's gonna probably wait up to the main event. But what they could have done is this: they could have left Rose and Wally and most definitely Valentina and Andrade, the top two fights. You could have moved up one of the guy fights as the bottom, as like excuse my language, as the bottom bitch. But Rose and Wally should have been the main event, and Valentina and Andrade should have co-main event. The Usman Masvidal fight is a shit show fight. Excuse my language. That fight should not have existed. If you can't give us Covington versus Usman 2, then don't give us nothing else. Don't skip a fight like they did that first fight because they couldn't find an opponent for Usman. Just because they got Masvidal, he needs the money. Street Jesus. Anyway, I do appreciate y'all coming by. My girl Danielle H, my brother Marcus Bell, anybody else, share this video, like in the comment section, subscribe. Hey, if you got a few bucks left over after you got your Simmons check, hey, my Cash App right there, All the Rage, page. Also got a PayPal. And sometime I'll be moving. I'm not certain when we're moving because I live under public housing, so that had told me yet. I'm trying to do GoFundMe so I can have a little helping me with my move. Just whenever, because it's expensive to move nowadays, folks. I can use a little extra money. I live on a very very small budget. Anyway, I like to appreciate y'all for listening to me. Just ranting off and talking junk, and just sharing my feelings of this upcoming main event. This is a big thing. I think truthfully it's a big thing for women in May. And after this, it's not gonna be much going on. I mean, I don't think we gotta wait on Nunes versus Pena. That fight, I don't see Pena winning. She'll probably put a good fight, but I don't see her winning. And then really WMA gonna be really quiet because with these two fightings, with the strawweight champions fighting and the flyweight champions fighting, we're not gonna see that no other than Nunes versus Pena. We're not gonna see any more women championship titles. And let's do this, yeah. Peace out, yeah. Peace out to you, Daniel Edge. And let's say this. This is one thing I want to say again, and I'm serious about this. Let's grow the women's featherweight division. That has to grow. We need, UFC. You need to get off your tail. Start recruiting some women. There are women out there at that can fight at 145. Let Nunes give it the title. Have a tournament. Tell people like Macy Chazon, Bay Malecki, Daniel Wolf, who's already up there. A couple other fighters like Norma Dumont and Zverev, Zord de Safra, whatever name is. Let them go up to 145. Oh yeah, peace to my man Marcus Bell. Peace to Daniel H. Yeah, I really thank y'all for coming by. I put this together. I was gonna do like a thing on my phone, like how I do my slides. But I just thought, what, I want to do use my PowerPoint and make this work a lot better. I should have did a reminder. I should have made a reminder first, But it's been so long. I was putting all the pictures together and I had so many stuff to do. I'm kind of busy, and like I said, I got some interviews that I got coming up sometime soon. I'm hoping if I get back with Brittany, we do our interview tonight. We talk about sickle cell anemia. I had to delete the old thing because I had to start all over again. And I really appreciate y'all. Just listen to me and just subscribe to my channel and supporting me. My channel is growing. I'm already almost at 420 subscribers, and maybe by the end of the year, I might be 400 or 500, and maybe down the road I'll be 1,000. I'll make some money. My family kind of proud. My sister's proud of me. She heard about what I'm doing, and so some other of my family members are proud of me because it's something to do, especially now that I don't have my mom take care anymore, and just to keep my mind busy. Anyway, I'd like to thank y'all for your time, and I appreciate it. I'm hoping, like I said, I'm rooting for Thug Rose, but part of me feeling like Wiley Jane might win it. I'm rooting for Valentina Shevchenko. Most definitely, she's gonna win. I don't think no one else is gonna take that title away from her. Anyways, man, always George Page. Don't like, subscribe, don't subscribe. I'm out.